Hey nerds! Welcome back to The Letter. In last episode, we got a little bit more of the story and maybe a mystery about a missing kid, as well as the photographs of Hannah came out all distorted. So hopefully we'll continue on now at the party and see Zachary's point of view of what happened with him and Hannah. The melody carries into the hall long before I cross the threshold. Solemn but gentle and soothing, a reminder of what home is. Pa's first meaningful gaze, Ma's wistful smile, the warm ray filtering through the eaves at sunset, the distinct smell of wet earth and leaves after a long day's rain in our room. The room, Ma and Pa's pride and joy, a place where we once promised several springs ago. I did not hit her! I did not! Yet it won't stop.
No, wait! Come back! I'll be good this time! Please don't leave! Please stay!
The floorboards are cold under my feet, more than usual. The walls more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther, the room goes. Farther, farther! What? Ma singing ceases and Pa. I can't hear Pa. Not above the raucous clanging and the deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There is only the blinding fear. And when the light breaks, her skin has already taken a sickly pale color, raw in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion on her body. Bony hands grip Hannah's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath that with vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malicious fills the gleam in her eyes. Malice? A scream ripples through the air. My whole body feels distant. Every limb heavy with lead, all unable to move at will. Not even so I can wipe the bead of sweat forming at my temple. The rasping of my breath easily fills the room in wee hours, while I force it back into the steady rhythm. There's a tightness in my chest. I can't shake it off, my heart pounding against it as if it's about to burst out. Something cold has settled on my legs. Not the usual chill that comes and goes with the passing breeze from the window, but the one strong enough to sting, shackle, and leave frigid sensation creeping up on my skin. With every struggle I make, the pressure finds wormly around my legs. Firmly, what is wrong with me? Tighter, and tighter, and tighter. All until it becomes too much. My heart stops. Oh, is she here? Another draft sweeps into the room and brings with it the iron tang of blood. Thick, suffocating. Filling my nose with foul, sickening smell as I shift my gaze downwards and it slowly comes into view. Mouth stretched in a Whoa! Mouth stretched in a hideous smile and eyes brimming with nothing but madness. The stretch of gore taints the air around me and I can't look away. From the terror and the death that her uncanny twisted feature alone scream. I try to open my mouth to shout, to ask for any help, but my voice has left my body altogether. All I have is a painful realization that no kind of plea will ever save me from her. When suddenly my bed dips. The brutal plunge back into myself jerks me awake. There's no ear-splitting scream, no wild thrashing of limbs. Just a painful, constricting awareness that something has wound itself tightly around my neck. I waste no second pulling it, a blanket away, but allow myself a few minutes to study my breathing before getting off bed. Inhale, hold, exhale. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. But the dreams have gotten worse. Ever since 2 days ago, no longer are they the small, curiously flashes that I'm used to, but vivid ones that linger. I can still feel the blood in my hands and the putrid smell of rotting flesh and sickening crunch of the bones breaking with every movement and her cold, chilling eyes as they bore into me. Sorry, I'm getting messages apparently. I draw in one long, ragged breath. Before I know it, I'm walking out the door. Even in the waking world, it reeks. A bench on the park is far and the most private place of thoughts in Luxborn, considering its location at the heart of a bustling city. But in the early hours of the morning, it provided enough peace and quiet for any poor or problematic soul who happens to wander here. The city is just waking up, a little later than usual. But knowing what day it is, no one can fault it for being a little tardy just this once. Yet neither the pleasant morning chill nor the soft twitter of birds does anything to banish the images. Every single one has rotted itself into my head, its claws digging deep in what is no longer a safe place to hide.
London Bridge is falling
Okay,
down,
it used to be easy,
down,
finding some
falling down.
pretense of
London
peace under the
Bridge
guise
is
of sheer
falling
optimism,
down, my
following regular
darling.
routine.
Take a
Now?
key and lock him
Now I
up,
don't know what to
lock
make of
him
it.
up, lock him
Yo,
up.
kid,
Take a key
shut up!
and lock him
Sometimes
up,
it's easier
my
to run,
darling.
easier to hide when everything's falling apart. That way, you
London
don't
Bridge
have to
is
be the first
falling
to
down,
witness it
falling
when it
down,
does.
falling
It
down.
worked when
London
things went
Bridge
bad
is
with the
falling
movie, after
down,
all.
my
It also worked when
darling.
Mom and Pa were taken
Take
from
a
us.
key and lock
Maybe
him
it
up,
really is
lock him
better
up,
if I just...
Hey, mister.
Tiny voice gives me a pause. When I look up, a little girl, maybe 6 or 7, is peering at me. Two wide eyes overflowing with what can only be the natural curiosity of one typically sees in children. Typically sees in a child. Oh, I vaguely note that St. Gorty uniform she's wearing before returning her greeting.
Hey kid.
Kylie.
Kylie.
Kylie?
That's my name. Mama said it's rude not to call people by their names.
She then flops down on the empty space beside me. Her little legs, still too short to touch the ground, swings in tune with the song she hums under her breath. Yo, mama should also taught you not to talk to strangers. I don't mind kids. Nana would often invite the ones in our old neighborhood to give them treats. Of course, by then, Sis and I were both too old to play with them, but you get used to the commotion eventually. It's not completely unpleasant, as most people would imply. Kylie seems to be a well-behaved kid anyway.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Kylie. Is Mama here?
No, but my big brother's with me. He's taking pictures with his camera over there.
She points to the far end of the park, the one closest to the street where a kid is taking shots of something above him. It doesn't look to be birds, but because all there is on that side of the parks are buildings.
I don't see what's so interesting with the tip of a building, though. I'd take pictures of dogs if I were him. They're cuter. Do you have a camera too, mister?
Yeah, I'm actually a photographer.
Mama said I'm too young to get a camera.
I'm sure your mama will eventually give you one.
Hey, I have an idea. Give her the camera that, you used to take the pictures of the ghost lady, and then try to take a picture of the ghost lady and leave it on there and let her see it and add her to the chain.
But won't you be late for school like this?
Big brother will get us there on time. Rowan promised Papa. We aren't going to be late. It's sports day. So it's not good if you keep looking like that today.
Is this an adult actor trying to do a children's voice?
If it ends up raining and we lose, it's your fault.
All right, I'll try not to upset the clouds today, kid.
This kid's annoying me.
Is it because you're sick, mister?
Before I know it, a smile has spread over my face. They say kids ask the toughest questions sometimes, and they sure do, with how sincere Kylie looks. Lying feels like doing her a huge disservice.
No, not sick. Just having a very, very bad day.
Why is that? Is that like when my big brother ate all of my pudding? He did that once and then cried. It wasn't very nice of him.
Yeah, I think so. You see, there's this mean girl. She's giving my friends and I a lot of trouble. Hard to keep up when things are like that, you know? Especially when you can't do anything. It's kind of scary. Makes you wish things will just stay as peaceful as they used to be.
Maybe she just wants to be friends with you?
Kids got it. She knows this chick probably ain't evil.
I highly doubt that. She already hurt one of my friends.
What if she's just sad? Or Or maybe she just wants help.
Way to foreshadow, kid.
That's what happened with Melody. I let her borrow my crayon when she left hers. Now we're playmates.
It's not really the same thing, Kylie. What she did, they're pretty bad things.
I still think there's another reason. Did you try talking to her? That's what Mama said I should do.
Get the Ouija board out.
I don't think that'll work either.
You haven't even tried yet. You sound like Rowan. You're just scared, mister.
Hey, didn't Mom say it was rude not to say them by their name? That strikes a chord. Maybe it's the honesty in her tone or simply the truth in its words itself. I don't know why, but I can't help it. I laughed. Loud enough to disturb an elderly couple taking a nearby walk.
Why are you laughing?
That's nothing. You're a really smart kid, you know that?
That's what I've been doing, ain't it? Go full speed ahead, then backtrack when the going gets tough. Stay in the safe zone, because that's what I know. Once, Dr. Navarro said I should be the first person willing to deal with my problems before anyone else. I didn't show up on our next appointment after that. But he's right. And though I hate to admit it, knowing what I've seen, but the kid makes a good point too. I've been so caught up thinking that there might not be a way out. Maybe there isn't, or maybe there is. But that doesn't mean I should just leave it up to fate. Aren't spirits supposed to be humans before too? Had people they cared about lived a life of their own, smiled and laughed like the rest of us does? Do they really lose all of it after death? Not if you've seen The Conjuring. That bitch was bad even before she died.
You better get to school, though, or you'll miss sports day. You should have won yourself some awards, alright?
Alright. Can I show it to you when I do? That can cheer people up, right?
In the distance, her brother calls her, and I look at that as a sign to leave. Got things to do, to face. The first few steps, they say.
Nah, I'm good now, I think. Thanks to you. Besides, Mister needs to go. But you should show it to Mama and Papa. I'm sure they'll be proud of you, Kylie.
I will. Thanks, mister. Bye.
I give her a little pat on the head before heading my way. A small gesture to thanks from a stranger she didn't know she might have helped. She may not understand it now, even though at such a young age, she already has this understanding of things. But maybe when she's older, when the world no longer seems to be too big for her.
But aren't you going to help me, mister?
Uh-oh.
With what?
Confused, I glance back. Whatever cheer our little talk brought has vanished under the shadow suddenly dancing in my eyes. Yo! Is this the missing kid? Did the missing kid, which is her, grow up to be the evil lady? Or maybe pass possession onto this bitch and this bitch dead now. This frigid air is most definitely not how the morning chill should feel like. Bitter, stinging, unwelcoming. And the kid.
What do you think, mister? Are you going to help me?
No, bitch.
What do you want from us?
The response never comes, however. Because when I blink, gone. Oh. So you... Interesting. Yeah, she might be the kid.
Hello? Mister? Are you okay?
Or at least, like, it looks like her when she was a kid, and, like, she kind of, like, just took that form for a second, you know, and, like, to show him. For several passing seconds, I let my stare linger on her face, waiting for any sign of another change. But all that remains in there is a carefree smile of a child. None of the spite, none of the cold, bloody smile.
Nothing. I really need to go, Kylie. It was nice meeting you.
See you again, mister!
I break into a run. I don't look back. Not even as I bump into a couple passerby as I'm out on the busy streets. Going insane. That is what it is. And if we don't do something soon, we all will be. The tremors follow me as I get home. I had hoped a little stroll around the block for a few hours would help. Instead, I am assaulted with more images of her smile, the loathing in her eyes, the stench of the gore, and the horrid crunch that comes with every movement she makes. Even old memories have been sullied by her, and Ma's song no longer sounds as sweet as it meant to be. In the end, all I got is a sinking feeling I will never get rid of her image and another ridiculous idea that may or may not even work. The sun is already hanging low on the horizon when I make it back. For the first time coming home feels more like a chore. Only I didn't arrive to an empty room. Because as soon as I open the door, I am greeted by no other than...
Sup, Z-Man?
Ash!
I told you we should have called him before going here.
Oh, and Isabella?
It's fine.
It is Ashton I see, sitting comfortably on my couch, munching on a bag of chips with both feet propped atop the coffee table. Whatever proverbial stone has made at home at the pit of the stomach automatically flies right out of the window at the sight of him. But before any exasperation can set in, my attention is taken by the other occupant in the room. Isabella perches on the only chair in the room, attempting to make herself smaller, it seems, from how closely she's hugging her arms against her. Nevertheless, she gives me a small smile when she notices my stare. Yet somehow, there ain't any warmth in it like it's supposed to have.
Hey, Zach. Sorry we just barged in here. Ash was...
Relax. Z-Man gave me a copy of the key himself.
Only after you broke the 13th one? I can't keep replacing them every time you think it'd be a good idea to break into my apartment. And stop calling me Z-Man!
I didn't break anything this time.
Ash, just because I gave you a key doesn't mean you can just stroll in here whenever you want to. And, hey, is that my...
Ash smirks at me because, of course, he has the gall to smirk knowing what he did. He pops in what's very likely the last piece of chip into his mouth and folds the wrapper neatly on the table before throwing it on the nearby trash. From her chair, Isabella shoots me an apologetic smile as soon as the foil hits the waste bin with a dull thunk. Common sense dictates that I should be angry. But after everything, having something normal play out in front of me, no matter how childish their antics can get, I can't bring myself to muster even a tidbit of it. Behind me, the television starts blaring the music for the end credits of a movie. They have likely been waiting for a while if Ash has gone impatient enough to rummage through the cupboards and watch something.
Of course he eats all of it. You know, I was saving that for the weekend. Did you at least share some with Bella?
Don't worry about it. I'm good, Zach.
Really? It's free food, you know? What was that you usually say? You don't say no to free food? What happened?
No, I'm just not hungry.
Ash only shrugs at the question in my eyes. I can't be the only one who finds this vibe she's giving off odd, and the guy who has no doubt already caught wind of it.
Aye. But if you want something, just say so. I've got a fully restocked pantry right here at your disposal. Still not a 5-star level thing, but for an empty stomach, it'd do. Just say the word.
Thanks, Zach. Maybe next time. Food is not really what we came here for. Ash, he's the one who...
She casts a brief glance at Ash, and in an instant he sits up. Every trace of amusement is gone from his face as he claps his hand in front of him and leans forward. A minuscule gesture meant to ease, yet the grim expression on him tells a different story altogether.
All right, you two, what's this about? I don't like those looks. What I said was weird, I'm aware of that. But I'm not taking it back. Isabella's not the only one here who's seen it.
A short but tense pause follows. They're both stalling. Under normal circumstances, I'd wait with these two. The more you force it, the more they'll clamp down on it. But as a handful of a second continues to slip by, the unsettling feeling in me also grows with it. Soon it turns into impatience. Before I can demand a response, one of them finally speaks up. It is Ashton who first breaks it.
I'm not asking you to. No, you're right. There really are some odd things going on here lately.
How is everything with you lately, Zach?
Hold on, Ash. Both of you.
Is Ash finally experiencing stuff?
Did I just hear you say that? Is this why Isabella's here? Has something happened?
Calm down, we're just here to check on things. So, did you meet Andrew about the photos?
What photographs?
Said photographs have been sitting untouched since the day I dumped them in my drawer. Isabella goes very still when I hand her this small stack. To her credit, she does not flinch like I'm expecting her to. Flips through each of it in silence. But while her eyes remain strangely calm, her hands have gone rigid, her mouth has set into a thin line. She, out of all people, understands what this means. In hindsight, she should have been the one I approached before Ash. Dang it!
What did Andrew say about them?
It could be one, but there's no guarantee it's a supernatural thing. It doesn't always happen. So, that's a dead end right there. Now that I think about it, bothering that guy for this feels pretty silly now. But with the dreams lately...
That's all? Did he say anything about the damn letter at all? Did you ask him even?
I pause, glancing at him skeptically. I don't know where this sudden curiosity is coming from. Oh, I hope we get to play Ash's side soon so we can see what happened. But if Ashton, calm, cool, collected, always logical Ashton, takes interest in this, something or someone has fucked shit up somewhere. Or they'll probably show him near the end when we, like, find out more about the rights and stuff. Or the world is ending. Second pass. The apocalypse I'm expecting to go along with it doesn't arrive, however.
Yeah, that's really everything. The letter kind of slipped my mind. The photos were more important at that time. There was some stuff about the local horror stories, though. Talked about the curses, and he was really fascinated with the story about a wraith asking for a sacrifice to move on. Kinda nasty if you ask me, but it does make sense if you simply go along with it. I'm not sure how this will help in the grand scheme of things. Why are you asking about this anyway?
Rose's death isn't just a coincidence, Zach. It may have something to do with... I may have...
Wait, stop right there for a sec, Bella. I thought you ain't buying this stuff, Ash. Just the other day, you said the exact same thing.
I still don't, but even Rebecca, out of all people, claims there's something.
You know what? That's who I'm glad we haven't seen in a while. Becca.
Whatever this is, someone has got to look into it. Everything about this screams shady.
Oh, that means something's happened to Becca, though, too, during this time. But nobody's seeing her talking to Becca, from what I hear. Unless it's just Ash kind of talking to her.
Are you sure you even have the time? Ain't you busy with your current case?
I got taken off that one.
Oh.
You didn't say you were taken off your case.
What happened?
I just got the news this morning. Apparently the higher-ups think I'm doing a horrendous job at it.
Oh, dang! Ouch!
It doesn't matter, though. If these two cases are connected like I initially thought, then regardless, I'm on the right track.
Oh, because he probably told them that, like, something good to do with, like, ghosts and stuff, and they were like, wow, get the fuck out. Which is what I would have said too.
Are you sure we should even be doing this?
Doing what exactly?
There's someplace we'll visit after this.
Too vague for comfort, Ash. And please don't tell me you're bringing her with you.
His affirmation comes to the form of a stare, but that alone says all I need to know. What I pointed out gives a pause, though, and his voice is the thicket hesitation when he addresses Isabella.
You know what? Zach's right, Isabella. You don't have to come with me.
It's not myself I'm worried about. It's you. I'll just do this myself, if it'll get you into more trouble with your superiors. At least I can make up an excuse why I need to be there.
Don't be ridiculous. You're not walking in there without me. Besides, I think it's a little too late to back out now. Have you two seen the news this morning?
I haven't, actually. Mama called, and I was busy.
The change in the air around her was so small, it cannot have gone unnoticed, and it takes every will and power not to ask. Every willpower not to ask. Probably the only thing reigning in my curiosity is the fact that Ash himself haven't brought it up either.
No problem. It should be in the afternoon news as well.
Whoa! Man burned after room catches fire. He grabs the remote and cycles through numerous channels until he gets the news report about the guy who's been found dead in the earlier hours of the morning today. Burned alive at this time. Oddly, no fire has spread, and whatever damage has been contained within the place the body was found. The room itself, however, has been completely vandalized. Help me. Help me. Help me. Why did I have to say that so much? Another murder, the authorities claimed. Isabella and I knew better. None of us shifts even after the reports ends, and the room is suddenly felt stifling. Ashton's eyes have gone hooded with what appears to be restrained anger, and the remote in his hand creaks mildly under his grip. The stone in the back of his stomach, and a tiny little thing gripping at my sides, growing with every passing second as the dread sinks in. In the thick of the air, Isabella is the one that breaks the hush. A small, weak thing on its own that wavers unevenly between words, but every syllable heavy with the meaning.
This is because of that thing, isn't it? I did this somehow.
You don't even know him! When it fades, all that is left in the air is her doubt and fear, while all we can do is cope. Is there something I can say to make her feel better? Stay silent, we can still fix this. Let's see what- hang on, where's she at? Oh, I'm maxed out with Isabella, so...
It ain't too late. We could still fix
Good.
this. There's 3 of us here. 4 if you count Rebecca.
No! Don't count Rebecca!
No, she's staying away from this.
Oh, wow. Fuck that bitch. She lifts her gaze at me, eyes steady and her shoulders squared as she holds it against the baffled look I give her. So I think we're gonna be playing Rebecca's story next. How are you gonna be selfish like that? I understand you're wrapped in the thing and you're probably pissed off about it because, you know, who wants to be wrapped in this? But realization comes in and you're like, oh man, I need to fucking help and do something about this. Although in the next second it immediately softened and it takes me by surprise, nevertheless. In those brief moments, it's like I face a different person.
I don't want to involve her in this any more than I already have. Both of you as well.
I already said it. That's completely out of the question. Stop asking.
Now kiss.
Still in all, that's 2 extra heads who can do the thinking. Between us 3, I'm sure we'll figure something out pretty soon.
Don't make this whole thing sound like it's a piece of cake to deal with.
It ain't. But better than sitting around, yeah? Plan is still a plan.
You're going to shoot yourself in the foot one day with that kind of thinking. We don't even know who's doing this. The last 2 murders might just be similar incidents done by 2 different suspects.
Hasn't stopped you from going after them before. Remember that time when you...
Okay, stop right there. There will be no retelling of that incident today, Z-Man. Or ever.
Keep calling me Z-Man and maybe I will.
Suddenly, Isabella laughs. Though muffled by her hands, it rings light and easy against the thick tension in the room. Still a far cry from the usual cheer she carries, but brings a welcome shift to the otherwise dreary mood.
Thanks, you two.
I'll tell you about it when he's not around.
Give it up, Z-Man. She's not interested.
Who says I'm not?
Ash makes a face, but chuckles at the jest despite himself.
Why am I even friends with you two?
And like this, most of our worries ebb away, if only for a few moments. They take their leave mere minutes close to sundown. Wait a minute, I thought Zachary was gonna go with them somewhere. Did I get that wrong? What? But regardless of the lighter mood, little has been said of their plan, only vague hints that what they're aiming to do after. I guess it's just those 2. Fuck, keep everybody else out. Fuck you guys. While it ain't none of my business to know, something about this whole thing still gnaws at me. A tiny passing through urges me to do something as well. At this hour, the streets are once again busy with people heading after a hard day's work. A little of the bustle matters to them as they step out of the crowd walkway, however. Ash especially. There's only his goal in mind, and I'd wager there's nothing I could do to stop him this way. Oh, so we didn't go with him! He's probably decided on it long before they made the decision to drop by. But despite this, Isabella lags behind. A worried cease in the back of her forehead as she watches Ash leave to get his car.
Something wrong, Bella?
No, actually, can you check on Becca for me after this? I really didn't get the chance to tell her where I'm headed off to. Tell her I'm okay, and no, just that.
You sure I should skip on that part? If she finds out about this, she'll be angry.
Nobody gives a fuck about Becca.
I don't really want to deal with angry Rebecca. It gives me a stomachache just thinking about it.
Neither do I, but I'll handle it if she gets mad. Just make sure she's safe and tell her to be careful. You too. Take care of yourself.
Almost abruptly, she pauses, the gaze in her eyes hardening as she laughs into another one of those long-distance silences from earlier. This ain't just because of the whole fiasco from the letter anymore.
I don't want what happened to Rose to happen to you guys as well.
This one cut deeper. Before I can ask about it, Ashton returns, casually swinging his car keys in one hand and gesturing at Isabella.
Come on, we don't have much time. Shirley's waiting.
Who's sure? Oh, right. Don't answer that. I don't want to hear it, you huge dork.
Says the person who gave her stuffed toys names. Batcat? Really?
It's cute. Yours is just weird. I'll see you later, Zach.
She sprays me another smile, and as I watch her walk away, only now did it occur to me that none of those she gave today ever did reach her eyes. Wait, so she not coming with now? I thought she was coming with! I make a grab for the back of Ash's parka. He staggers briefly before correcting himself and shooting me a confused stare.
Is she alright?
What? Who's okay?
Isabella. She's been, I don't know, out of it today? Did something happen earlier?
The scowl on his face says it all.
She's actually been like that this morning. I'll ask, but...
Just do me a favor and watch over her. We have no idea what we're dealing with. I don't know what happened to her since the last time I saw her. But from how she's been doing today, whatever it is, seems like a pretty big deal. Wait, you didn't annoy her again, did you? Because I swear to God, if you did, you've got another thing coming for you.
What? No. Why would I?
I'm just asking. I'll take your word for it. But if you can find out what's bothering her, that'd be nice. Honestly, I don't think it's the letter this time.
I'll see what I can do.
Make sure you keep yourself out of harm's way, all right?
Yeah, you too. Don't do anything reckless again.
Reckless, no. But I can't make you to promise I won't do anything. After seeing that, there's no way in hell I'm going to pretend there ain't a problem when there is. This is a really big one, and I'll be damned if I let anything happen to you guys while I sit here. I'm done running when things get tough.
He's about to argue for a moment, but...
Look, bro, if things ain't good, I'll be the first one out. But allow me this one thing, aight? Just this one time. If it doesn't work out, you'll be the first one to know. You can laugh then, or berate me all you want. But please don't ask me to step aside like I'm incapable of doing anything to help.
I have no idea if it's the look on his face or the tone of my voice. Ultimately, although his mouth presses into a thin line, he nods.
All right. Stay safe, Zach.
He stumbles into the sidewalk and allows the afternoon crowd to swallow him whole. I like to think like the tiny glim in his eyes is the clause that we can get to optimize in this situation. So I guess they're not going anywhere. I'm so confused at that like whole situation right there. Whether that alone will be enough to give a peaceful sleep tonight remains to be said. Why did you even go outside? Okay, October 29th. This is when Hannah gets possessed. So something's probably going to happen within this episode. Alright, and we're going to stop there just like we usually do with every episode at the end of the day. Looks like something's going to happen this episode because as we just looked at the journal, Hannah got possessed in this episode. So something else is probably going to happen too. If not, they're going to come closer to the conclusion of, you know, what might be going on. We are playing a lot of Zachary, which is really nice. I like it. We'll probably be getting into maybe Ash, the rich husband, or maybe Rebecca soon. But we'll find out. If you like this, watch the next episode. Check out my other content if you're not too interested in this, and I have some spooky other stuff. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Bye!